Once upon a time, a girl named Felicity and a boy named Peter bought an abandoned 1830s farmhouse in New York. Welcome. It is an exciting day around here. We have cleaned up the basement since the last time you guys saw it. James's crew has cleaned up the basement since the last time that you saw it, and we've done some pre-work for the electrician, and we've made some progress on the wall in the main room. So, without further ado, let's get started with a tour of the new and improved basement. The lights are on down here. We have not called to set up our account with this house yet. And so I don't know how these lights are on. These are the only lights on in the house. There's 3 of them. There's 2 here, and there's 1 in the room off to the left. What a difference, you guys. Can you see? Look. James's team has been through here. They've cleaned off all of the stuff that we had asked them to get rid of. The floor has been cleaned. Obviously, there's still some stuff in here. This is the old boiler. This is going to be taken out and a wall unit put on instead. But look at how clean the floor is. They've cleaned out all the junk that was not something we wanted to keep that was on these benches. This is the other light that's on, which is helpful because this is the room that we didn't have any light in when we were here last. What is weird about this light, though, is that there's no switch that we can find and there's no chain on it. So that's a thing. The other thing that I think we've discovered is this window here is just a screen to the outside because the sounds coming in from the guys working out in the yard are a great deal louder than they would be if there were glass in that window. But look, all of the stuff that was here, that giant whatever mess of crap, has been moved. Other room. Let me take you back. I'm really excited to start putting things in our... Hey, look at that. That's our gate. Isn't that cool? In our wine rack. This is the other room. This is, I believe... Yes, this is the extension. This is under the kitchen. And so we're going to put the washing machine down in here where it was before. The hookups are already here. That's the dryer outlet if we ever want a dryer, because the back door is right here. And we're going to have a solar dryer, which is a fancy word for a clothesline, because you guys, I love clotheslines. We have one at the house we're renting now, and oh my gosh. It is glorious, and I dried laundry outside in Tulsa for the entire time we were there, and I loved it. So, sort of peek out. Unfortunately, we can't open the door much more than this at the moment, but here we are out in the backyard, and there is the corner of our driveway. Oh, and the other thing we've decided to do, there were 2 ways they could finish the inside of the walls. One way is this cement plastery kind of way, which is okay. It looks kind of generic. The other way they can reseal the walls down here is this, and I love this white painted brick. I absolutely love it. I think this is just the most, it's beautiful. It's very cottagecore. So they're not going to be able to do this on every wall because some of the walls don't have bricks. This is actually a brick wall. You can see the brick on the other side. So here in the corner, let me see if I can get you guys close enough in. This is what the flagstone foundation looks like, and that's what we're going to have them paint. So it will look a little bit like brick, but it won't be quite as uniform, I guess, as a brick would look. There still isn't a light in that room there. That's what we're thinking might be the root cellar, or we might just not use it at all. Honestly, we're not 100% sure, other than the utilities that are down here, how we're going to use this space. I don't even know if we're going to be able to have them take the furniture out. Peter had talked about having them take all of the furniture out and put it outside, but some of these pieces, like this piece, is really heavy because this is really heavy wood with really heavy metal anvils on it. This stuff may stay down there. It was obviously used as a workroom at some point because it had power and water and things like that, which the outbuildings did not have. So that concludes the tour of the new and improved, by improved I mean clean, basement. So let's head upstairs and do what we actually needed to do today, which is some pre-work for the electrician. One of the things we needed to do today was walk through and indicate with blue painter's tape where we want additional outlets installed so that our electrician has that information. So this is the main wall of the kitchen. This is the door from the porch to the kitchen. This is pretty much staying the way that it is. All of the existing outlets that are here are going to be upgraded to grounded outlets if they aren't already. And then we're having a couple of additional outlets. We're going to have a freezer outlet put in here because we'd really like to get an upright freezer at some point. So the freezer outlet will go there. We're going to put another outlet there because we think the microwave is going to go there, and any other accoutrements that are the sort of things you bring out every once in a while. The juicer, the air fryer, a dehydrator, a stand mixer, a blender, something like that. So that's what's going on here. So let's head into the formal dining room, which we are thinking of as our pantry stroke workroom. And originally we had intended to have them put an outlet for a freeze dryer in that far corner. However, that doesn't seem like a good idea now because of the heat vents that are down there. So instead, we're going to put it to the left of the door as we came in. There's no heat outlets on that side of on those two sides of the wall. And we'll use the outlet under the window there and under the boards behind us, and that should do us for outlet capacity in this room. And then the last new outlet on this floor will be in this room between these two windows so that we can put our chairs there and look into the room. There are two more outlets upstairs, but before we go upstairs, there was quite a lot of conversation when I posted the May walkthrough tour video about taking out this wall. So this is what the wall looks like. It's got all of these fine nails going into it. And if you look at the top, you can see some of the flooring from the upstairs room. I'm trying to figure out this is the hallway, upstairs hallway. And you can see here, it wasn't a whole lot. It was some kind of cement stuff with paper over the top. So it wasn't a very fancy wall. And then this has been roughed in. I mean, it's solid, but nothing terribly fancy. So we are going to have them take the entire wall out. I know some of you said that that was a bad idea. However, what we are thinking is that because it's not load bearing, if we need to put it back in at some later date, we can. And what we really want to do, just on the other side of the wall where that sink pedestal is, that's where the wood stove is going to be. And we really want to use the wood stove for heat in the winter, and having a wall here that blocks the heat into this room just didn't seem like a great idea. And so we're going to have them take the wall out. If it's a terrible idea, we can have them put the wall back in future. It's not load bearing, so it's not a huge deal. What we think we might like to do in future is actually switch it and have a wall here and have a barn door that could be slid across to close off this room completely if need be. And that way, this part of the wall is open to the wood stove and the heat coming in from the wood stove. So then let me take you upstairs and show you where we're putting in the last two outlets. Okay, we are up in the master bedroom, and the bed is going to be going on this wall facing this direction. So as best we can, we've spaced out where the side tables are going to go, and we've asked them to put a couple outlets in here. The thing with the new outlets is that they're going to have USB chargers on them, or outlets on them, so it'll be very convenient to have two of them. I almost forgot until I saw Peter taking a picture of these. The other thing that we're going to do, and this is very gracious of our electrician, he's agreed to run fiber optic internet cable when he's wiring these new outlets. And so we've asked him to put a Cat 5 in my office and a Cat 5 in Peter's office, which you may remember is currently masquerading as the treasure room, so that we can have two repeaters up here, and that should extend the range of the Wi-Fi so that we're both able to work. Ooh, it's really dark. There we go. So that we're both able to work up here and each have a dedicated internet in our office, and then hopefully they're strong enough to go this way and that way into the bedroom, which is the room behind here. So, plans, many plans. So speaking of plans, I want to wrap up this video with an exciting conversation that I had with our next door neighbor. So let's head outside and I'll tell you all about it. I was over at the restaurant next door this morning taking a work call, and our neighbor, Karen, who has been an absolute joy thus far, happened to be leaving as we came in, and I had a chance to chat with her. First of all, she loves what we've been doing to clear the property. We were a little bit worried that she might not like what we've been doing, just because maybe she's used to having a jungle between us and her, but she's really thrilled with what we're doing on the property. She is also excited to talk to us about our plans for the food forest. She is growing some fruit trees on her property already, and so has very local experience to share with us, which will be amazing. And she doesn't want to have to spray her trees. We don't want to have to spray our trees either, so being able to talk about that as neighbors who are, because her property is right behind me, will be super great. And also, she said something that we are in what's called the banana belt. Apparently this particular strip of 414, which is the main road that we're on, stays a lot warmer in the winter, partly because Seneca Lake, which is probably about a mile that way, doesn't freeze in winter. It's too deep to freeze in winter, so that keeps things a little bit warmer. But apparently we're in a warmer part of the microclimate here, which is an interesting thing to know. So she's very excited to talk about garden things. We also found out that she is thinking about retiring. And so that raises a question of, well, if she retires, what happens to the restaurant? So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But definitely we need to eat there for as long as it's open, because the food there was amazing. So that is a good thing to know. And with that, that is the very last update that I had for you in today's video. So here are some closing thoughts. Thank you so much for being part of my journey and part of our journey to restore this house, save this house, steward this house. It means a lot to me that you're here and watching and excited about the updates. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon for another update. Bye for now.